What was the sitcom that Tony Danza and Alyssa Milano were on?
I own this house. Whatever, you know what I mean.
I own this!
You know I own this house.
Who's the boss?
Yeah.
I own this!
I own this house. God damn it.
That's what it translates to in Armenia.
Cool. There's that. There's that. Oh, probably helps if it's anywhere near the microphone. Well, hey, that's going. See? That's picking up. That's gonna sound okay.
It's picking up my bracelets too. A little bit.
It's getting a little bit of bracelet.
You can see it?
This is gonna be great. There's no way this is gonna be bad and go terrible at all.
No, but it's got us.
But hey, if this works, now I know I have a backup.
You do have a backup.
At any point.
This is actually way more natural than
doing a little flirty thing?
Yeah, I think that this will make it more conversational.
This feels more job interview.
It does. I feel a little bit more like
You're trying to impress me?
Or that I'm like on a true crime documentary where I'm like explaining my story.
Are you big on that?
Yeah.
Well, you're a woman.
Yeah.
You're afraid
I have
of being
one of those
killed.
pesky old vaginas, so.
Yeah. How
do vaginas work?
Yes. Effectively, what is the majora versus the minor? I guess is what I'm going for.
You have children. This is disturbing to me.
It's a lot of basting. It's a lot of turkey basting. I treat my wife like a woman, deserving of proper respect.
Oh, so you've never touched her?
No. I would not deflower a woman such as her. She's too good for that.
She's too precious.
No, if do you think about, like, you're bound, you're gagged, you're in the back of a Humvee, or I don't know.
Yeah.
A Humvee makes it sound like the military got you.
That's a little bit more Afghanistan than...
Do you think about it? Like when you're going to bed at night, like what would I do in that scenario?
Yeah, sometimes. I think that, the statistics say that it's likely to happen to any of us as women. So I think, I've always thought that part of the reason that we like true crime as women is because we're told that that's how we're gonna die, or we see it happen to women so much that it almost feels like we have some semblance of control or preparation.
Yeah.
It's almost like that ancient stoicism where it's like you think about your problems so much that they are no longer your problems.
Oh, I think about my problems forever.
And it's never stopped?
Until it burns a hole in my chest and I scream at my daughter.
Die?
Yeah.
Oh, you scream at your daughter.
Yeah,
Good.
Hole in drywall, typical white guy stuff.
Typical Colorado Springs dad.
Yeah, for sure. I think about being in a fist fight every night of my life.
I think most dudes do.
Because I'm very scared of it.
Mm-hmm.
And not like in a cool macho way, but like, how many kicks to the head can I take before I think?
Oh, definitely not a lot.
No, not a ton. So I think about that. I'm like, I've asked my wife, like, you don't think about combat, do you? And she's like, no, of course not. Like, okay, but you think about...
I do.
Getting kidnapped. You think about combat scenarios?
Yes. I'm like, if somebody's like following, because like I'm on the road alone a lot. So like
That's
I'm
true.
walking through cities and stuff, and sometimes the guy's just minding his business, walking to his apartment, but I still like catch him over my shoulder, and I'm like, okay, if he grabs me, the first thing that I'm gonna do, like...
Wrist on wrist.
Yeah.
Turn it around.
Sweep the leg.
Have you done any kind of self-defense, or is it just all in your head?
No, I've never done any in real life. I took Taekwondo for a while, and then I did
Who did it?
I did some mixed martial arts.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, as like a fitness thing for a while. When I started like getting kicked and stuff, I said, oh no, thank you.
I know I'm preparing to fight for my life, but if you're gonna kick me,
I don't want this.
I don't want anything. Well, your husband follows you around sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you think you could? Do you think you could beat up your husband?
No.
Okay.
My husband's very scrappy. And,
Okay.
And also he's worked for the TSA, so he's trained in like behavioral detection and stuff.
So he knows a creep.
Yeah, and he stopped a mugging from happening before it happened with us.
Oh, really?
I watched it, yeah.
Whoa.
Because he saw the guy's behaviors and he was like, okay, this is not going to be good. And so my husband has a CCW, so he flashed him his gun. And the guy, when I looked up, the guy had his hand in his pocket and you could see there was a gun. And my husband said really loud, so the guy knew that we were calling attention to us. He was like, hey man, how's your night? And he like showed him his gun and the guy like just took off running.
Whoa.
Yeah. I feel very safe around my husband.
Oh, good.
The problem is not with my husband. The problem is when I'm not with my husband.
I have a concealed carry permit, and I've talked to a lot of people, other comics, who have been like, I don't see why you would have any reason for needing that. I'm like, I think that's a perfectly.
I feel like you should have a suit made of guns.
I don't. If you can't think of a
vulnerable.
I'm not getting into fisticuffs anytime soon. I can't afford that.
You said fisticuffs, and that made me want to beat you up. So
that's an effect I have on people.
That's gonna happen.
This is why I'm worried about it.
Yeah.
I was talking to a group of comics, and I once referred to. I was trying to talk about a vagina, but I felt weird saying that. But I also didn't want to say like pussy or something weird.
Yeah.
So I was like, a woman's beloved.
Why do you take such a when you say pussy?
Because I don't know.
You said
because it's
pussy.
Aggressive.
You said pussy.
Yeah, because I'm forcing it out of my body. It doesn't want to be there. It doesn't feel natural. It's not a practice
You
move.
are only adding to the gay rumors by saying pussy doesn't feel natural in your mouth, Russell.
It doesn't. No, you could ask my wife. It doesn't feel. It's a lot of light pecks on the cheek.
Actually, it feels wrong on my end.
Yeah.
I'd rather you didn't.
But I said woman's beloved, and they're like, that's the scariest thing anyone's ever said.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah.
So I'm worried that that's going to be.
That's like that's how an incel talks about pussy in his manifesto.
Your husband would detect me.
Oh, big time.
And like, oh, there's something wrong with him. I'm like, no, I'm sweet.
No.
I'm sweet. He's like,
No.
show me a gun.
Yeah.
But yeah, when people are like, I don't see any reason that you would need a gun. I'm like, I think your life's been
Privileged.
way easy, or you just can't, I don't know, imagine a scenario where it's
Yeah.
like something like you do open mics.
Yeah.
That's the scariest place to be.
Well, and they just obviously aren't paying attention because, I mean, I bet, but also men like don't absorb it sometimes. Because I was in Orange County doing a show and this audience member was like cornering me. He was being very creepy, very sexual, and I was like outside and I was like pressed up against a wall and the audience member was coming closer and closer to me and there was two male comics and I was like, they're gonna do something, right? They're gonna do something, right? And he just kept getting closer and closer to me and they didn't do anything. I eventually just had to be like, okay, girl, it's now or never. And I just had to like step forward and put my chest out and be like, what's up, man? And he like kind of backed up and was like, oh, no, don't worry about it. And like took off, but.
So I hosted at Looney's like 2 weeks ago, and the feature, there was a guy who was talking to her, and I could kind of tell she didn't want to be having this conversation.
Yeah.
I'm so self-conscious about it, even just because I've been stuck in conversations that I don't want to have.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I wish someone would come get me out of this.
You mean empathy?
Yes. Something along those lines. But yeah, so like because I'm like, I don't want to go like white knight in shining armor.
Yeah.
Like, excuse me, sir. Like, she could probably handle herself.
Yeah, but
at the same time, I'm like, oh, he's not going away. So I stepped in. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Are you
you'd rather be
here
the
for the show?
pretentious, protective asshole than not step in.
I'd rather be like chauvinistic
Yes.
for being too much.
Yes.
Than like, oh well, I'm sure she's a tough gal, and then
Yes.
like, oh, she's dead. She got decapitated.
Well, do you know what I do a lot is if I can tell a comic's uncomfortable, male or female, I'll go over to them and I'll be like, hey, we have to go back behind the bar right now and finish paperwork. And then I'll like take them aside.
We got W-2s to sign.
Yeah, and I'll like pull them aside and then I'll be like, do you want to be talking to that person? And if they do, then I'm like, go. But if they don't, then I'm like, okay, let's go hide somewhere.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Pulley fold them out.
Yeah.
Pulley
fold them out.
Pulley full.
Pulley full.
That
sounds like what you call vagina.
Show me that pulley full. Ew, I don't like that.
Why did you do this?
You know, that little thing.
You really don't like pussy, do you,
I don't.
Russell?
I have a hard time with it. I think I like women.
You just wish they had a penis?
That would be huge for me.
I mean, there are women
Not
with
even.
penises.
I wish my wife was smooth.
Oh, like a Barbie.
Yes.
Less about what genitals and more about any genitals.
That way I could give it a loving pat.
You're just averse to all physical affection.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't know how to show love to a woman. Yeah, I'm so self-conscious about that because my wife, she's tiny.
So you've seen her get made uncomfortable by someone before.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
And just like I have a 3.5-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
And I know
you know she's gonna be your wife
going to
someday,
be.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid of being raped constantly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if anyone is shorter than me, They're definitely getting raped.
Wait, it's height dependent for you? Okay.
Yeah. You're 5'6". You're done for. No, but like this guy caught when I wove myself in at Looney's and started talking to this guy. He started telling me like, oh yeah, I got stood up on a date. Like, okay, so he's just like looking for, I guess, any woman to talk to. And he's like, yeah, my bitch wife keeps texting me. It's like, oh, he's like, yeah, well, we've been separated for 3 months. So now I'm on a date. And then he was like, oh yeah, I was in the military for like 15 years and I got like dishonorably discharged, but let's not get into that.
What?
And then later
the red flags are just like...
kept going. Later he told me, he's like, oh yeah, I haven't been outside my house in like 3 years. This is like my first time like getting out.
He's
Because
gonna kill someone.
I've got some like mental stuff,
That's a
right?
murderer.
And I'm like, oh, you're bad. And then during the show, he sat in the front row and I have like a joke where I just asked someone to give me a high five. And he was there, so he gave me a high five. It was the hardest high five I've ever... For a second, I was like, do I have skin on my hand anymore? I gave it a quick check. Like, he would have choked the life out of this poor gal.
That's a narcissist.
He would have hurt her real bad.
Yeah, he has or will murder someone.
He's a bad dude.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Those are the kind of guys I listen to podcasts about.
Yeah.
A lot of I listen to this podcast all the time called Something Was Wrong, and they basically do social journalism on how narcissists basically destroy people's lives, and there's no consequences, but then they just call them out and tell the whole story or whatever. But that's what they're like. Like, they have one relationship to the next. They are volatile. They can't keep a job. They're often dishonorably discharged from the military, but they want to
War crime, cool stuff like that.
Yeah, it's scary that those people exist.
Yeah.
But also, natural selection has been trying to get me for a while, and I've just been dodging it like Mr. Magoo, which you might not understand that reference. You might be too young.
I know there's a guy. Like, Mr. Ed is a thing. I've never watched MASH, but I've heard the reference before.
Do you understand what Mr. Magoo's thing is?
He's a wacky guy.
No?
Magoo seems like a silly name.
Mr. Magoo is a guy who can never find his glasses and he has bad eyesight. And so the cartoon was him going through these cities where he was barely missing catastrophe, where he's walking through construction sites,
okay.
but he thinks he's just walking through the mall because he doesn't have his glasses on. So he's very oblivious to the world around him is what I mean.
Okay.
And so I went on a first date with a guy and he literally told me he was a sociopath and diagnosed and on medication.
I mean, I guess that's good.
It is, but also...
tell me that right away.
But also, why did I keep dating him?
Oh, well, that's on you. Okay.
Well, that's my big question.
That's on
this
you,
day.
for sure.
I'm like, girl, what were you thinking?
That's wild.
It was very wild, especially because a month and a half later, I found myself being like, how come I can't emotionally connect with him? And it's like, girl, what do you mean?
You just wanted love so bad.
He literally told me who he was, and I was like, yeah, no.
I can fix him.
I don't think so.
Well, how long have you and your husband been together?
We've been together for 11 years, married for 5.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So better.
Yeah, much better.
What are his mental diagnoses? Or is
He's just an average depressed, anxious millennial,
cool.
The rest of us.
Yeah.
Nothing special. His big thing is that he's a sweetie cutie patootie. That's his mental illness.
Too sweet for his own good?
Yeah, I love taking baths, and I have to drive all the way back to Las Vegas tomorrow to start a new day job on Monday. And so he recocked our bathtub and cleaned the whole bathtub for me. Yeah. He's a cutie patootie, right?
That's sweet.
He's really sweet.
So do you have any shows tomorrow?
No, I'm just driving home.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm you're not doing a 6 p.m. spot and then trying to make it.
No way.
Okay.
It's a 12-hour drive.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Jeez. Well, hey, I hope your new job works.
Thank you so much.
Cool.
I hope so too.
That's great. So you've been here for 5 days?
I'm gonna be 11 tomorrow. I've been here since the 19th. Yeah, I got here Wednesday the 19th, and I've been doing a show every night since.
What's been the worst one? You don't have to name names.
My show. I produced a show, and here's the thing: is all the comics said they had a good time, which I really, really appreciate. They were really kind about it, and a lot of them were my friends, so we still had fun.
Yeah.
But the audience was just weird. Like there was no way to get rhythm.
Yeah.
They had a really off energy.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they would be great for like 3.5 seconds,
And then just
die again.
Well, in your show, it's the Filth Factory.
Yeah.
And that's a tough show to not have people on board for.
Yes, because you tell them what they're on board for to begin with. And
then they just have a bad time.
Some of the really dark stuff and some of the really filthy stuff they were in it for. There was no rhyme or reason. That's why they sucked.
Why?
Because it's one of those audiences where sometimes you can tell the audience only wants clean or they only want
Sure.
dirty, and then you get it. But sometimes the audience is laughing at stuff that you're like, that's a setup. That's not even a punchline. Like, and you're laughing
don't know
and
what
you're
you're
crying laughing right now, and I couldn't get you to laugh at my banger. Like, what do you mean? What is happening here? Like literally, Kelsey was apologizing from stage because we were all bombing. We were all eating 1,000
It's not a great look.
But nobody really fully bombed. That's the thing.
Sure.
For what the audience was available, what energy the audience had available, and especially because I right from jump, I was like, this audience, dog, and I told them, I'm like, y'all suck.
I saw you had something on Instagram that someone asked you, like, are you having a good time? And you're like, that's too much of a question to answer right
And
now.
it zooms in on Georgia with a vacuum.
Oh, yeah, yes, with a Dyson.
Yeah, she bought a Dyson and she just got it that day, so she did her whole, because that's the point of the Filth Factory. You can do anything. And so she literally headlined holding her Dyson and did a whole thing about her Dyson, and then ended with she did a contest where she had 3 audience members be like eco, boost, and normal mode, and then she put chips on the ground and they vacuumed to see who would win. It was just the weirdest, funniest shit. She went on stage with machine gun sounds and was like fake shooting the audience with the Dyson.
Did that get him?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They would. That's why I'm saying
We love shootings.
They would. They did.
Shootings.
They would pop, but there was just no rhythm in them. They were tired, and yeah, it just was not a good vibe. But
Well,
I'm
hopefully
sure, but
tonight's
then
the best night.
Afterwards, they were like, "We had the best time." I'm like, I hate you.
I did a show last night. It was a silent disco comedy.
Oh, so everyone has headphones on.
Everyone has headphones, and it's just in the middle of
the city.
Well, it's like one of those weird multi-eating
Okay.
centers.
Yeah, like a world market kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's so loud that you have to have the headphones on. And the host Erin, she came up to me afterwards, very sweet. She was like, "Oh, you crushed, great job, absolutely amazing." It's like,
There was no laughs.
There's no way to tell.
Yeah.
I'm looking at people, and there was 3 people I honed in on to
because
go
they were visual laughers.
right, but everyone else was just like.
What if they were just making no noise and doing that?
That's what I'm thinking in my head. It's like, oh, they're giving me polite smiles, but I can't tell if they're laughing. It was bizarre.
One of the clubs I headlined in Sacramento, Laughs Unlimited, they had silent disco comedy over COVID because there could only be outdoor events. So they're in a cool part of Sacramento downtown. So they would shut down the street in front of the club, and they would put out. They actually went all out for their silent disco because they had covered VIP tables it came with a heater.
Whoa.
So you could put a little heater under your table, and then everyone sat outside, and then the comics had tables up on stage, and everyone had their silent disco headphones on. But I would kick one headphone off because I needed to, even though it was distracting to hear the cars and the people and the parties, I needed to hear if people were actually laughing.
Yeah.
It's very disorienting.
I tried to do it because I'm like, maybe I'll be able to hear them,
But
and
no,
I kicked
it's
one off,
too-
and it's just
it's too loud in a world
bringing
market.
sexy back.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't.
Hear
That's even louder than because their laughs in this warehouse just disappear.
Yeah.
But speaking of laughs disappearing, audience, we're recording once again at the historic public house at the Alexander. I love this room. It's so great. It's so fun. And when we do sell 100 tickets for a show,
Yeah.
it's amazing to have the balcony. But man, echoing.
It's a little echoey, yeah.
It blows in here. It blasts in here, and I've tried to maybe I could start recording people's sets and hey, here's the tape for you. I'm just pictures, more just pictures.
Yeah.
The audio is
Trash.
gone. Yeah. It's just. It's
Well,
just
and
so big in here.
The problem is I bet table talk just echoes, so they have to be like super quiet,
Yeah.
or else it's like, because I did a room like this in Vegas, and there was literally all of the tables except for like 3 were paying attention, and the table talk from those 3 were so loud because the acoustics were so crazy in that building. I could like literally pick out bits of what the people were saying in the back table, and I literally had to just like talk directly to the tables.
You knew
like,
what they were ordering?
Yeah,
kind of?
it was wild. Some buildings are built in a way that the acoustics, like I can hear it right now. There was like a spot I just talked where my voice was like over there.
Yeah.
Like it's. Now I'm getting disoriented by it. I'm like a dog. Can I have some of that drink that you showed me earlier?
The whole point of this is have a sip of a drink.
I have cotton mouth, so.
You want to try a team? We got a.
Yeah, because you presented me with a Clearly Canadian, but I already love Clearly Canadian because I'm a child of the 90s. You were born in the 90s.
Yeah.
So you don't know. But when you grew up in the 90s, Clearly Canadian came in a plastic bottle and you could get it at Walmart for like 50 cents a bottle.
Well, I'll send you away with a parting gift.
Oh, I love Clearly Canadian.
It's in a glass bottle, so you know it's good. What is this, a Team Lime, a citrus refresher?
It says for a refreshing pick-me-up, enjoy Team Lime.
Well, hey,
Cheers.
give it a shot.
Thanks for having me, bud.
Yeah, thanks for being on. That got away from you. That got away from you a little bit.
Sorry, it just startled me how much it tasted like a Smirnoff Ice.
You thought I tricked you into alcohol?
It just startled.
Is that what a Smirnoff Ice tastes like?
Yeah.
Dude, I'll drink Smirnoff Ice if that's what it tastes like. That's pretty good.
Yeah. No, 100. This tastes like a little bit less. There's like a frostier taste to a Smirnoff Ice, but
I've never had this before. That's real nice.
it tastes like I put water in the lime juice thing from the fridge and then drank that water.
Is that good?
I don't know.
Okay. All right.
It just is, and that's okay.
Well, it's bubbly. The cotton mouth is gone
No,
now.
it's very refreshing. The refreshing part is cool.
There you go. It's cool.
There's 36 carbs in this bottle. Oh my god. Good thing it's a cheat day.
That's why I got the Clearly Canadian as a health conscious option.
May I have that instead, actually?
Yeah. See, that's why I brought it. There you go.
Ah, yes. Oh yeah, and see, they came in these bottles when I was a kid.
Didn't they?
My mom would buy them a lot.
Well, now we're gonna have 2 drinks on one episode.
Are we not allowed? Is that against the rules?
I make the rules. No one listens to the podcast.
Yeah. Cheers.
All right,
Cheers
let's
to
try
no one.
There we go.
Cheers. Oh yeah, that's where it's at.
That's pretty good.
Clearly Canadian slaps.
That's pretty good. That tastes like peaches.
It tastes like peaches.
At my last house, we had a peach tree in our front yard in Colorado Springs, which I don't know how that happened. We had a peach tree in our front yard, and I had a job that I hated.
I wanted that Clearly Canadian so bad I bent the lid.
You needed that.
How did I do that?
Oh my God.
Okay, anyways.
Okay, so you don't have to worry about
Me finding out I'm the Hulk.
You don't have to worry about rapists in a parking lot at all.
No, I'm pretty buff now.
Yeah,
so.
you'll twist them off. Yeah. I've seen you squat.
Yeah. Squatting is actually my weakest. I can bench and deadlift. That's what I can do.
Squatting's what you need.
Yeah, but I can't.
When you're on your back, kicking them up off you.
Yeah, but I can also just... I'm very strong. I'll arm wrestle you right now, wrestle.
You would win.
I know.
1,000%. I don't know if I've ever won an arm wrestling contest in my life. I had a peach tree in my front yard.
What a segue.
I had a peach tree in my front yard, and I worked remote from home.
Uh-huh.
And I hated this job so much that I would, have a lunch break. I'd go outside. I'd take a bite out of a peach and just whip it at my fence as hard as I could.
To get rid of your...
Just to get the rage out of me,
Yeah.
but also have a little sugary treat.
Did it help?
It so helped. Having a little bit of sugary treat and just forceful rage at the same time, it really brought me down. But then my neighbor yelled at me one time. She was napping. She was a lovely, I believe, Filipino woman who, screamed at me because she was napping, and I kept
because
throwing
your
peaches
rage
at her.
peaches were waking her up.
Rage peaching. So I'm less of a hole in a drywall guy, and more of I need a sweet treat. Go to the batting cages.
I keep leaning in
In your muck?
in my muck from when I.
Do you want me to get you a napkin?
No,
real
it's
quick?
fine. I got it. I'm an adult. I can handle it. What were we talking about? Rewind.
Peaches.
Peaches.
Hole in drywall.
Hole in dry. Oh, lifting weights is really like how I get my rage out.
How?
By lifting heavy weights.
But what does that do?
It just makes me feel really strong.
Because you can't. I would think whipping the weights, throwing something around.
I mean, the concerning thing is you need the destruction to
Yeah.
have release, Russell.
Yes.
That's concerning.
To
for
watch
me.
something die so that I
live.
consume its soul. It gives me what I need.
I've seen Dr. Sleep. I know what you're about.
That's,
All right.
That's the big Dr. Sleep. This is really good.
See, did I not tell
Wow,
you clearly
2 for 2
Canadian
drinks.
slapped?
Normally everyone.
This is better. Clearly Canadian wins this.
I'm trying to get sponsored. I can't give a rating one way or the other. No, I when I first started this, I'm like, that would be cool if like this gets successful. Maybe there'd be like a soda company that would sponsor the podcast. And every other comedian I have on, it's like, this is dog shit. This is the worst thing I've ever had. So I'm like, maybe that's not the route we can go down. Probably gonna be more of a tushy kind of.
Or you find a soda that's actually good.
No. I mean, the thing is, I think they're all good.
Yeah.
Everyone else is used to drinking PBR and doing cocaine. They're not
I mean, not
used
me.
to.
I don't drink Coke. I don't drink PBR.
What do you drink?
I mean, I don't really drink that much. I'm more of a pot girl, but when I do drink, it's either whiskey or tequila.
How does a clearly Canadian compare to marijuana?
I mean, it's dog shit.
Okay. I thought it was going to be up there. Not even in the ballpark?
No.
Damn
If
it.
I'm on a crashing plane and they're like, ma'am, what would you like your last moments to be? Clearly Canadian orchard peach or this fatty bong rib? I pick the bong rib, dog. I'm not picking the orchard peach.
No, you don't want to go down sober and experience every brutal moment?
No. I don't even want to do that
Coward.
with regular life.
Coward.
Yeah.
You take it on the chin. You take it sober. Again, you bury it down and it just kind of festers.
Do you think that sound, when you're saying these words out loud, do you feel like, yes, this sounds healthy?
When I say festering,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, just check it.
I
Just
think
check
that's
it.
good and fine. Like my father and his father before him.
Oh, you know Uncle Fester?
Adam's Family.
You got it.
Okay, I know some stuff.
You got it.
Name other old things.
Okay, now this makes me feel ancient, Russell. Thank you, but I will.
Scooby-Doo? Yeah, I've heard of it before.
Oh, wow, that's still a thing. That doesn't count. Hang on.
All right.
Okay, wait, let me think about
Pink
this.
Panther.
Wait, let me think. Okay, do you know who DJ Tanner is?
From Full House.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay, good start. What was the sitcom that Tony Danza and Alyssa Milano were on?
I own this house. Whatever, you know what I mean.
I own this!
You know I own this house.
Who's the boss?
Yeah,
I own this!
I own this house. God damn it.
That's what it translates to in Armenia.
Yeah, when you do it
For
from
reruns.
Chinese back into English.
I own this.
I own this goddamn house. That's what a boss would say.
It's from laughing. Okay, let me think. Hang on.
That's pretty close.
What did Han Solo get frozen in?
Oh, carbonite. Don't
Okay,
throw
well, you're
Star
a
Wars shit
nerd.
at me.
I
I
forgot
got a
that you're-
tattoo on my
Yeah, I forgot
body
you're a
right
nerd.
now.
Okay. Let me think. Old things. Oh, okay. What is the name of Tommy Pickle's younger brother?
Dill.
Okay. You got the Rugrats. All
You're-
right.
I don't think you're as much older than me than you think you
I'm
are.
36.
I'm 29.
Okay, well.
Yeah, so you were in high school
When you were in
I was,
middle school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
there's
fair. There's
most of the
crossover.
references I'm gonna get.
It would have to be like my childhood stuff, like.
Wings,
Do you know the?
Cheers.
Okay, it's kind of hurting my feelings how accurate you're being.
What else?
I was
Boomerang.
I was a WGN and UPN kid, and what of it? That was one of the 6 channels I had because I lived in rural Nevada. Okay, and Wings is a pretty good show if you give it a chance.
Never watched Wings. It is like Wings, MASH, Hogan's Heroes. These are all shows that I know the names of, and I know they're for old people. Couldn't tell you
What they're about.
one thing about them.
If you could guess, what do you think the Facts of Life was about?
2 mixed families coming together.
Okay.
Is that it?
No. It's a school for girls, and it's for different scrappy personalities, and they deal with the different things of life, and their mistress who runs the house helps them through problems.
I watched Recess.
Ah, that's a good one.
We were showing my daughter Recess
Pepper
recently.
Ann?
Huh?
That was on after Recess, Pepper Ann.
Oh, I don't know that.
You just turned it on as soon as it was a cartoon
No,
about a girl.
because I was just in love with Spumoni.
Everyone was. I mean, that's why she's why bisexuality exists.
Spumoni, Peppermint Patty. If you're a butch, mean woman who is straight, that's my type.
Is that why I'm on this podcast?
You're not that butch.
Hey, that's fair.
You got hoop earrings.
I'm very femme.
There you go.
But my voice and stature and energy.
Yeah. You look like me if I put a wig on.
Yeah, just to shave the beard, put the earrings on.
I saw a picture. I was I had to update my passport. And I saw like the old hot picture of me before I had like a child and I was relatively in shape. Hey, man, cutie patootie.
Yeah?
You want to talk cutie patooties?
He's a cutie.
Me, 2014, pretty good. But it was like, oh no, you look like my older sister. Like, we look very related.
We do look related, actually. What are you?
What?
What are you?
Genetically?
Yeah.
German, Irish, Jew. I don't know why that made you laugh.
Just because.
Jewish.
Jewish.
A lot of Jew blood. There's that, like, there might be, every white person might have Quashaha or Blackfoot or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of German and Jew.
Oh, okay. I'm mixed.
Yeah. Between.
I have Portuguese, African, Indigenous, South American, and then German and Irish and Welsh.
You got a lot going on.
Yeah, I'm colonization, baby. Look at the
We're
face
doing
of colonization right here.
This is apartheid. Which mom's genetics.
Why? How come when you're trying to think you grab air boobs?
I gotta put. Because I was gonna talk about your mom for a second.
You had to put yourself in the mood.
I had to imagine what she looked like. I imagined a busty woman.
She is.
And then your dad would be more of a this. I didn't realize I'd do that. Now I'm gonna be real self-conscious.
Sorry about that. I do that too. I tend to just call out them. It's why I'm a good roaster, but also why I'm not fun sometimes.
Why you're a tough hang.
But if you hang out with my friends, they all do the same thing. Like, I literally said something the other day. I was hanging out with, like, Georgia and a bunch of other people, and I was like, yeah, I'm just, like, really insecure about the fact that my ears are different heights. And all of them were like, wait, let me see. Let me look at it. And they're, like, looking and getting close to my face. I'm like, I love this part where I said, that's my biggest insecurity. And you're all like...
You're making people realize you're uglier.
Well, and they're all like, wait, let me look at it closer.
You are a freak. You do suck.
You're disgusting.
When I watch people talk, I will start doing whatever their little hand motions are, and start like.
So did you talk to a crab at some point?
I've been watching a lot of SpongeBob. But I worked with a lady who she would talk, and fingers would pull them all the way back, and then thumb forward.
Forward, yeah.
And so she would do this, and it didn't make any sense. And so when I started talking to her, I started doing that.
Back.
And she was like, "What are you doing?" And I didn't know how to say, "Oh, I'm doing you.
I'm mirroring.
You do that.
Yeah.
You're I'm actually normal. I'm being cool. I'm trying to make you feel comfortable. You do this, and it's insane." And I don't mean it's not a conscious thing.
Yeah.
It's just like whenever people.
Well, it's like echolalia. Like sometimes people say things and I just say it back. I can't help it. Like I hear things and I just repeat it, and I try and mimic the sound, or like even like voices, or like something I heard, or like it just comes out involuntarily. So I understand that.
My mother-in-law, lovely woman. She will start mouthing whatever she thinks you're gonna say with you at the same time, and it's so distracting.
Yeah, it makes you forget what you're gonna say.
Yeah, and then I just start babbling because I'm saying like, how long can she go? How long will she follow me?
You're like supercalifragilistic.
Yeah, and it's not. I don't know if it's she's guessing the words you're gonna say,
I think it's probably an ADHD thing.
she's just opening and closing, but not doing words. She's just.
But she's making different shapes, though.
She is making different shapes, but it's so distracting.
It's very. I have a lot of friends who do that, and but I now recognize it as probably an ADHD thing. Like ADHD people interrupt a lot and stuff. It's because they know where you're going, so they're like, get to the point. Like, and that's what I think my friends are doing when they're doing that to me. Is they're like, yeah, I know what's coming. I know what you're gonna say. Like,
oh, that's sweet.
But it's not like conscious. The same way you're not this. You weren't conscious of this. They're not conscious of the. You know, so I don't even think they could tell you if they knew what you were going to say or not.
Have you noticed anything else that's upsetting about me?
I mean, besides your general demeanor and
presence? Yeah, kind of just the aura that I have, the vibe I'm giving off.
There's really, you're very clean cut, you're polite,
okay.
You're nice.
Sure.
I'm pretty impressed with the young crop of Colorado Springs comics, how many of them are nice, respectable young gentlemen.
They have to be.
That's nice.
That's our one thing we have over Denver. No one's raped anyone.
No predators or rapists.
There's not a single one that has been found out yet. We've kept it well hidden. I mean,
not saying anything about rapists, but I am saying there is a lot of tiny boys in Colorado Springs. That's all I'm going to say.
A lot of weak young men. Yeah, a lot of snappable wrists.
A lot of artists.
We'll have a liberal arts degrees, less power lifters.
Yeah, very that.
You know Cameron.
Yeah.
He's got like weird fibrous muscles.
Yeah, because he's very limber and lithe.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've felt him and he's sturdy.
Yeah.
But he's
scrawny.
But he's scrawny.
But he's muscular.
Comment on that. I don't know where else.
You're just gonna. And what do you think about that?
Let's talk about all of my friends' bodies.
That's not weird.
Thad's got a beard that it's not coming in great.
This is not going to help to the Russell's gay rumor, Russell.
No. That was all of high school. I started my wife. We were buddies. We started pretend dating so that people would stop calling me gay so much. Ended up real dating from it. Because she would sit on my lap. We'd call each other babe. All this stuff, and just eventually was like, this is pretty nice. We should just keep doing this.
You're the coward. You skipped the whole dating thing.
Yeah, it was a weird.
You found a loophole.
Oh, fake dating.
Into real dating?
Into real dating. So people ask, like, what was your first date? I'm like, I don't know. Or like, when did you first say I love you? I'm like, we kind of made it up the first couple times. So I don't know when it first meant something.
I love this creative writing exercise you and her were doing. Going home and being like, so what should happen to us tomorrow?
Yes. we would go like, okay, people aren't going to believe this. Let's go into like...
Were you like hoping it would turn into a relationship?
A little bit. There was like, I did like have a crush on her.
But you had like no game.
Zero.
Yeah, so you're
Negative.
like, this is the only way this is ever going to happen.
She had to call me one night. And she was like, hey, what's up? I'm like, nothing, what's going on? And after a couple minutes, she was like, are you ever gonna say anything? Like, I don't know what you're talking about. She's like, are you gonna say like, hey, I have a crush on you, would love to date you. Are you ever gonna ask me out?
Are you gonna say that out loud?
And even when she was confronting me, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're being crazy right now.
Oh no, Russell, gaslighting.
I was like, you're actually reading into this.
You're a narcissist.
Yeah. You think you're so hot.
Wow.
Yes, but it took me a minute to like let my guard down.
The self-sabotage was real.
I could have thrown my wife away.
Easily.
I was a scared young man.
Yeah, well, you figured it out, man. I mean, because you probably wouldn't have dated until much older based on what you're telling me for your ability to talk to women.
I did at one point, because I just never learned how to date, because that's how we ended up dating. Then I'm like, I want to try to have a Tinder account and just see what that's like.
It's horrible.
Oh, what a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Knowing that and we were 3 years into dating at that point. I'm like, hey, do you mind? I just want to like see what this is all about.
We're like the only people that have dated. I've never dated anyone but you. Yeah.
And man, did it for a couple months. Had 11 matches or something like that. All women who look exactly like me. Like it was like none of my type.
No.
So it was. If she dies, I still don't know.
Are you gonna kill yourself?
I have to.
Legally.
I think that's the only thing I can do. Why did this light go out? Oh no.
It's from God. It probably overheated.
Probably did. It probably did. Well.
Usually a new ballast will help that thing.
Huh?
That's called a ballast.
Okay.
It usually helps if you get a new one.
Oh.
I have lights go out all the time because I use a ring light a lot of the time when I stream and stuff.
Oh.
So I've had that happen before where it'll overheat and just die.
I've never had it do that before.
Well, I am very beautiful, so.
That's the problem. You're actually a narcissist. And actually, your ears are different sizes, so. What the fuck do you know?
Okay, don't get started with me, Russell. Okay. You know, if you get in the ring with me, it's gonna get real, and you're gonna get your feelings hurt, and then I'm gonna be the asshole.
I've never had my feelings hurt once in my life.
That's a lie.
All right.
Your default feeling is hurt.
I'm trying to be cool and tough. You're a tough lady from Vegas.
Yeah.
I've grown up extremely privileged.
Yeah, I grew up privileged too, to be fair.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm, yeah, my family's very helpful. They've always supported me, and they've always surrounded me with like support and love and stuff. So.
Are your parents married?
No, my mom is married to my stepdad, who's my dad for all intents and purposes. My grandparents are still together. They've been together since 1960 something. They've been together for a long, long time.
Wow.
And my aunt and uncle have been married for 20-something years, so we all lived near each other in Las Vegas. And then my husband's family is all from Chicago.
How you like who's your favorite in-law?
That's a
loaded question?
Well, it's a couple chapters.
Okay.
My first number one favorite in-law is my mother-in-law.
Okay.
She's a perfect angel, sent from heaven, no notes. Easy.
All right, full stop.
My second favorite in-law is my father-in-law.
Okay.
He is a sweet man who has grown into an even more kind and caring and compassionate man as he gotten older.
Very sweet and kind.
No notes. My third favorite in-law is our cousin Jody.
Okay.
And Jody is a raging idiotic alcoholic.
That's what I was hoping for. A train wreck.
Yeah, he got his feelings hurt last time we were partying together because his wife and I were talking and she was saying he wasn't sweet. And he goes, "What are you talking about? I'm not sweet." And he's all hammered. And he goes, "I give you money all the time." I was like, "Jody, that's not being sweet." And he goes, "It's not?"
I go down on you. What the hell, babe?
And then he got all mad and stormed out of the party and came back later.
That's so funny. My wife, lovely, amazing, beautiful, kind, generous, all these things. Not a sweet woman.
Oh, okay.
I need a butch, mean, straight lady.
Yeah, you like somebody to be a little tough and mean
Yeah,
to you.
I need someone who's mean to me.
Yeah.
But for years I'd be like, "Oh, you're just the sweetest. Thank you so much." And she would go, "I don't know what you're talking about. Stop it." And I felt like I had to put sweet on her. Like that's what a wife is. A wife is sweet.
Yeah, that's the patriarchy, brother.
And now I'm finally at a point where I'm like, I love her
for who she is. Yeah.
For the lovely, amazing, total bitch that she is.
And I bet she can be sweet.
Yes.
But she's not sweet.
No, she's a hard woman. She's a tough gal. That's what I mean.
And you love it.
Yeah, I think if I had a sweet wife, I would be a worse person.
Yeah.
I need someone to cut me down.
That's what Jason needs. We were talking about it.
Jason needs a hard woman.
He needs a hard woman who's going to make him eat vegetables and clean his house.
Yeah. Yeah. Jason, I think I empathize with Jason. I love Jason.
Why?
He knows
because
all
you
this.
guys look like two Kens from the same
We
release
look like
pack.
when you palette swap in,
in a
in
video
Super
game.
Smash Brothers. Yeah, it's a Ryu and Ken.
Yeah.
For sure. We're just a palette swap of the same moveset.
Yeah, you look like the Portland version of Jason, and he looks like the Texas version of you.
There you go. But I would be exactly where Jason was if I didn't have my wife.
Yeah.
Because it was unfortunately, to put it on her, she was the one who's like, you have to become an adult and kind of get some shit
we
together.
have children.
Yeah, and when I was, because I went from living with my parents to getting married and living with her.
Yeah.
So I've always had a mommy.
Yeah.
She's like, you've never done anything on your own.
Yeah.
I'm hanging drywall now for the first time in my life.
Wow.
And it's taking me forever.
But you're
and
doing it.
I'm doing it. But it's just that, like, she had to be like, I just need you to do your own laundry.
Yeah.
That would be huge for me. And so, like, Jason is 23?
He's so young.
Young man.
Yeah.
With all
But
all the
he's
perceptions of a
literally the
17-year-old
sweetest
boy.
pumpkin
Of course.
on the planet.
Yes.
I just think he's one, and it was wild because he goes from like, I'm doing the podcast with him and he goes like, fuck yeah, dude, to like being the most articulately, emotionally sensitive person I've ever talked to. I'm like, you're so weird. Who are you?
We did a show together yesterday, and we were driving up to Denver, and he said something about like, yeah, it's like, how do you do this and be funny, but also be like a reflection of the light of Jesus Christ or some fucking bullshit? And I'm like, you can't say both of those.
You can't say Jesus Christ or
some
bullshit.
fucking bullshit. I'm like, no, you get to pick one tone. You don't get to say that in the same sentence,
It's my
buddy.
favorite.
I get it. But we will be riffing back and forth, and then he'll hit me with a like, oh, that's stupid. Oh, you're gay or whatever. And he's like, Russell, I just want to let you know, like, this has meant a lot to me. And I'm having a really nice time, and I was in a bad way for a while. I'm like, stop doing whatever this is.
I don't
like anything. I don't like when you tell me that, like, I've just.
What's your sign?
Huh?
What is your astrological sign?
I've never talked to Bill Engvall. That's a joke, I think.
You know what's funny is there's this troll online who thinks I'm a billing ball ripoff. And
What?
I know, it makes me laugh every time. I'm like, have you?
Yeah, all of
You
your
know
bits.
he has one bit, right?
He's got one joke that I've never said.
So, I don't know. And also, a woman?
You should put up one clip of you doing Bill
Bill
Engvall
Engvall's
just
joke.
for him.
He would lose his mind. What is your astrological sign?
I was born on November 8th.
I think that, I don't know what that means.
Do the math on it.
Okay, so, because I am a Pisces, which is like a water sign, which is emotional, and I love that about Jason. I think it's so cute that he's so sincere.
When did they start adding avatar elements to astrological signs?
They've always had avatar elements.
What?
Oh, you're a Scorpio. You're also a water sign. You should be much more emotional.
That's because it's not real.
Well, neither's
If you're gonna talk about, yeah, we can talk about that. We can talk about Jesus Christ if you wanted to. If you want to just throw stuff up back and forth.
You don't have to think it's real, but I do.
What's your favorite book of the Bible?
I don't like the Bible.
See? Same question. It's weird as shit, isn't it? People don't like it.
You know what? You're the only person who's reacted this way, so.
That's because you're shoving your Christian astrological bullshit
You're
down my
shoving
throat.
your basic dude beliefs that astrology's not real down my throat. Wow.
Wow. This is what it's come to? A walk-off? The first storm off from the pod I've ever had? Because you're a water bender or whatever? And you can't handle it?
All right, shut up, fucking scorpion ass.
We should, speaking of shutting the fuck
Oh,
up.
is the show about to start?
Yeah, just about.
It's just an audience in here watching us.
There's 45
be
people
mean to
waiting.
each other.
Jozalyn,
What a pleasure, buddy.
lovely.
Cheers.
Hey,
let's shake so you don't have
shake
to.
on it.
There you go.
We're gonna be hanging out for another hour and a half or so. Clearly Canadian, Peach Orchard,
sponsor
absolutely delicious. Team,
Not better than marijuana, but still 10 out of 10.
still pretty good. Team, I liked it. I had a good time. Do you want to plug anything? No one makes it this far, but
Great.
Plug it anyways.
I love that. Go to jozelynsharp.com and plug your own assholes since you're not even here.
that's bad. That's a bad thing to say.
Why?
Be kind.
Plug your own assholes.
Thank you. Thank you. It wasn't the message, it was the tone.
It's the tone, yeah.
This is an ally pod. It's
not,
fine.
It's not what you
I'm
say.
progressive.
It's how you say it.